You have the skills, but not the experience. But how do you land that desired position? Hey, welcome back. So I put out a question to you all to identify what questions you have that I could answer as your virtual mentor. And this week we got a really good one. So I'm going to go ahead and read it off to you. How do you sell yourself when you have the skills for a position, but not the experience? So this is something that a lot of us have experienced because as we know in our careers, you're going to pick up and acquire different skills as you're working on different teams and doing different things. But a lot of the times, you'll see roles that are posted online or even within your organization and you say, I know I could do that based on what I did, but my title doesn't necessarily say that I can do that. So what I like to say is it is possible for you to land one of those roles externally. What I mean by externally is it's a company you don't work for, you see it, so you're applying for it. The challenge is that they're going to be looking for specific titles, specific roles that they know for sure you've actually done this experience, so it's 10 times harder. So what I always recommend is how do you take advantage of taking on opportunities within your organization? So for example, if you're seeing a role in your organization that you think you could accomplish and you want that position, you have the skills for it, but you don't have the experience, they still are going to be unlikely to hire you. But what you can do is potentially ask your leader, can I do an apprenticeship or some type of internship? And what'll happen is you can spend a few hours per week working with that team and it'll allow you to show that you have the skills, you know what you're talking about, but it also builds that experience. So it's almost like a real world example of being able to say, I can do this, I know I can do this, and here's how I can do this. But also you're learning even more while you're with them. So never put yourself in a box where you just say, I'm not going to be able to take on anything new. I'm not going to take on new roles. You want to stay open and say, I'm more than willing to take on any new opportunities that come my way in the organization, even if it doesn't have additional pay. It doesn't mean you're going to do it long term. It doesn't mean that you're going to take it on permanently, but it means that you're getting paid to learn. And that's the ultimate hack that I've learned. You want to get paid to learn.
Hold up. I hope you're enjoying this virtual mentor series, but I know you're probably also thinking, I don't even know how to find a virtual mentor, let alone a real world mentor. So I've got something for you. Go to seanthespeaker.com/mentor guide. And what you're going to find there is a free guide for you where it's going to break down how to identify a virtual and real world mentor, what questions you should be asking for them. And then when you're looking for a virtual mentor, how you identify the 5 key areas that you want to have developed for your next level. So go ahead and get it now, seanthespeaker.com/mentor guide. It's for free. Enjoy it. Now back to the video.
So with these new skills, the other thing you want to think about is how do you document them? So the way that you document the skills you have are going to be very pertinent and important. So you want to make sure that when you look at your resume, you start documenting those skills in a way where it also tells a story. Because you can say, I know how to do X, Y, Z, but if you can't tie it back to what you did, it doesn't matter. So you want to be able to think about what is the skill that you have? Where did you implement it and what was the result? Once you do that and you actually have that displayed, it'll become 10 times easier for you to actually do well. I'm even a fan of putting together case studies where you can even say, in addition to my resume, here's a case study or a presentation I put together that is a few slides that showed what I actually did, where I implemented this and how I did a great job at it. That'll also help you stand out. So it's not one size fits all. It's going to be in a scenario where keep trying different things out until you get it right. But the key thing is, how do you sell yourself? How do you put your information out there, especially when you have those skills? And the last thing I'd say is identify sponsors. This is going back to some of the things I've talked about before. You want to make sure you have a sponsor, and a sponsor is someone who's going to be able to sell you when you're not in the room. So who are those individuals who are very close to these other departments that can also vouch for you and say, this individual has these skills. Let's go ahead and give them a chance, even if it's not a chance to do the job today, a chance to show and display that they have these skills. So I hope this was super informative for you. I love these questions. Keep throwing them at me, and we'll do this again in a couple weeks. So as always, have a good one. Continue to focus on your development and what you can do to be your best self. And I'll see you next time. Sean out.